Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. Come on in, come on in. It is time for another episode of Coach to Coach. So come on in and invite your friends, y'all, and share. We want to make sure that we have as many people in with us as possible. But come on in as we get ready to introduce our guests for tonight. Y'all, listen, I know it's been a minute, but we back up in it. So come on and share. All right, I'm sharing, so I want you guys to share. And but invite at least two friends, okay, y'all. Invite two friends that because the next time this could be you on here getting interviewed. So come on in. I'm gonna put it there, and then I'm gonna put it in all of our other groups that we have, y'all. So come on in. Hey y'all, come on in. This is amazing. Come on in, everybody. I wasn't expecting everybody to be hopping on my end this fast, but come on in, y'all. Come on in. I know it takes Facebook a minute to let you guys know we're here. But come on in. We are here. We are live, and we're going to get on into this. Let me share this in one more spot, because we want the blue side of the house in with us as well. So come on in, everybody. Here we go. So come on in, you guys. Come on in. Hey. I see y'all. Let us know where you're joining us from. Hello, over on Twitter. I want to say hello to our Twitter people. Hello, Twitter people. So come on in. If you are joining us on Twitter, let me know where you're joining us from. If you're joining me on Facebook, which page are you on? Are you joining us on the coaching page, or are you joining us on your page? Okay, so come on in, y'all, and let us know where you are joining us from. Get the Hers girls in here so that I can have all of them come in and support, because that's what we do, y'all. We support each other. And I'm going to get into this. And so there it is. Done. I'll have Tracy send that. All right, so come on in, y'all. Come on in. But give us some feedback in the comment section. Let us know where you're joining us from, what state, city and state where you're joining us from. I'm super duper excited to have this guest on with me today. Hello from Slaughter. Hello, is that Courtney? Hello. I see you. Where are you joining us from? Are you joining us from what city and state are you joining us from? So come on in. Let me know, y'all. I'm super duper excited. I want to meet all the new people. But we have a new Hers girl, y'all, and we have her on with us. When I say she's new, she's new. She's a new Hers girl, a new coaching graduate, and we're excited to have Coach Gracine Cillins-Dansberry on with us, y'all. Let me give y'all her bio as we get into this. Hello. I see y'all. Come on in. She is an educator, life coach, mentor. She is the founder of Anchored in Grace Professional Services. She is the co-owner of Geeks Elite Tutoring and Mentoring Programs, y'all. Check it out on Facebook, all right? She was born and raised in St. Louis, Missouri, okay? All right, Boot Hill, holla back. And in 2016, she was transplanted to Dallas, Texas. She is a wife, she's a mom, she's a community outreach member, and her favorite quote is by Aristotle. It is, I believe that educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. Y'all help me welcome Coach Gracine. Y'all may hear me call her Gracie because she's also part of the Healing Hearts Angels. Hello. Come on in here, Coach Gracie, and let the people know a little bit more about you that I haven't already told them.
Hey everybody, my name is Coach Gracie, and some things you would like to know about me is I love plants. I love reading. I enjoy kids, and I am a character to be around. Let me tell you.
And as y'all can tell, she's a little bit shy. This is her first interview, y'all. This is her first interview. I'm super duper excited to have her on here because it was just crazy how how we got to this point. It was a journey how we got to this point, and we'll get to that later on in the show. Hello. Hey, David, I see you. Let us know what city and state you're joining us from. Adasia, we see you from Oceanside. All right, so Gracie, we're just going to jump into this. All right, what makes your approach to professional life coaching and mentoring unique? What makes yours different from everybody else's?
I would say my approach is unique because I have the ability to transfer a message over to any age group, whether you are a PD 4 to a middle school 16 to a 90-year-old woman. I've experienced it all, and I enjoy doing that. I can make it deliverable where you can understand it. We can be professional, or we can be real hood about it. It depends.
I love it. I love it. Hello, Joyce. Let us know what city and state you're joining us from. So come on, y'all. So, and it really is when it comes to professional life coaching. Now that you have gone through the course, what look at her face. Now that you have gone through the course, what is it that now you see differently than before when you was like, yes, I want to do life coaching because you heard about it, but now that you've gone through the course, what do you really think about the life coaching profession?
Ooh, I believe life coaching is, in best terms, it's a gift and a curse. You have to be vulnerable when you don't want to be. You have to journey into yourself in order to help your clients. You also have to be available and give up something in order to walk this course. And you're not aware of what that may be.
I like when you said you have to give up something. You
Yes.
have to give up something. When as you were journeying through the life coaching course, what is one thing that you found out about you that you didn't know? If you want to share, if not, to be like, I pass.
I would say what I found out about me was that I went through a lot. So my knowledge and my expertise came from a lot of pain. It came from a lot of pain. And it wasn't necessarily meant for it to be painful to me,
Okay.
but in some way it was tethered to me or connected to me.
Okay. Yeah. And I think Belleville, Illinois. Okay, Joyce. I think because I created the course, I think that a lot of people say the same thing, that when they go through it, they end up discovering or rediscovering who they are at the core. And so that's why I try to ask about the course, because that's not the center of this or the focus of this interview. You are, but this course is what helps to develop a lot of who you are. And so it was created that way. It was created to be challenging. It was created to make you think. It was created to make you dig in deeper, so that when you left the course, that you would understand a little bit more about this profession, and realize that it is a profession, and there's so many different aspects of it that people don't get to see, but they just hear it, and you can hear the eye rolls when you say, oh, she says she's a life coach, and they be like, oh, not another one, and you're like, no, but for real.
Yes. Those that were around me during the time that I was taking your course were able to see that different transformation. So once I told them I finished the course, they congratulated. But once I told them what I had began to do, the look on their face changes. It's like they're scared. Maybe they don't know if we can feel what they're going through or what they have been through, or maybe they're scared to feel what they went through or what they are going through. But that look, it's
Yeah.
just like a stop of time. They freeze.
Yeah. Yeah. I think for a lot of people, they don't take you seriously when you say you're about to take this particular journey. And then when after, the journey is over and the graduation happens and it's like, oh, this was for real. Like she was not joking. Then they start to look at you in a different light.
Mm-hmm.
And they start to kind of sit up a little bit, and they kind of tiptoe a little bit, and they kind of watch their words a little bit, because they're like, can she see, can she see through me, can because it does have you make a different awareness of self and what's going on
Yes.
around you.
Yes.
Now
Your presence grows.
you're present. You have two things that when you graduate, you just came out the box. I mean, you hit the ground running. And so you have two things. So number one, you have Anchored in Grace professional services.
Yes,
We
ma'am.
want to know what are some of those services that you offer from Anchored in Grace. And then you have Geeks Elite tutoring and mentoring programs. I mean,
Yes.
you came out with it was a double whammy. And I was like, wait a minute, she just graduated. But I was excited. So tell us about those two programs that you have going right now.
Okay. Well, those two programs were definitely a gift from God. I asked God for a part-time job, and he laughed at me. And after a long conversation, he blessed me with these two. Um, I didn't expect for them to take off this fast. They grew before I even developed the program the way I need to develop the program. So if y'all look on those websites, don't judge me too hard, because I just did what he told me to do when he told me to do it. He didn't give me all the extra steps. He
Come
just said, do
on.
this. And I didn't even like the name Anchored in Grace. We fought about that. That was a whole nother argument that y'all will find out later on. But somebody else had to make me do that because I wanted to
Oh
call
my
it
God.
something else. But Anchored in Grace offers professional life coaching and mentoring classes. We also are venturing into the business coaching aspect of it, because throughout this journey, what I had to do was tap into other therapists, counselors, and coaches to give me that push I needed to birth these babies. Because I was scared. We
Okay.
just gonna be honest.
Now,
I was scared.
let's stick a pin in that, what you just said:
Okay.
coaching, consulting, counselors.
Yes, ma'am.
In this class, when you took this class, now do you have a better understanding that these are three separate fields? They are three separate fields, because a lot of people try to throw the coaches in with the counselors, in with the consultants, in with all of that, and you find out in this class that it's a world of difference.
Yes, it is. Those are totally three different things. And they're a necessity. Like, I don't know what I was doing before or what I thought I was doing before I got introduced to this. I really don't. If you look at some of my websites right now, honestly, I need to buy Coach Karen book because my social media skills suck. We just gonna say that. So, but until I
But you're
ventured
doing
out,
it. That's the whole point.
yes, because I'm embracing my mistakes. You can see the mistakes now. I don't care anymore. There is nothing to be hid. If it's a mistype, it's a mistype. Send me a DM and let me know, and I'll fix it when I get to it. But the work is being done.
That
He,
part.
he didn't order my steps the way he ordered everybody else's steps. I'm the catch 22. If it's gonna go different, it always go different with me. If you know me, we've been here before. So for me, he said, launch it, and then they gonna come. He didn't say they was gonna come that fast, y'all. I wasn't ready.
Say
I
it
wasn't
again.
ready.
Say it again for the people all up in the balcony.
He didn't say it was gonna come that fast. I was not ready. But if you want to reach out and help me, let me know. I'm open to learn. I am open to learn whatever it is that God wants to teach me, because I don't know nothing. If I coach you, is what he told me to say. It's not
Boom,
coming from me.
boom. So after you launch these, and when I and y'all and we have to use the word launch for this. We have to use the word launch because that's what happened. It was just like whoosh. We woke up one day and I'm like, let me make sure I get the calendar together, the schedule, so I can sit down with each and every one of them. And it was just like a whoosh. It was just out there gone. I was like, well, let me mark Gracie off the list. I don't need to meet with her. So I don't need to light no fire because she was gone. And I was like, and then the next thing I saw was like the page was done and everything. And I was like, well, go ahead then. Like, I'll sit back and I'll watch too, So it was just like out there, gone like wildfire. And then we saw the students in the Geeks Elite class, and I was like, she already got the thing going on. And who is your partner? Because we want to make sure that the co-owner gets mentioned too.
Okay, my partner is my cousin. You guys, after we buried my aunt this summer due to cancer, we were privileged enough to be instilled in some greatness. So we reached hard times together. We've been through a lot together, but other people saw something in us that we didn't see in ourselves. After losing a job, doing an aftercare program, I wanted another one. And the parents were looking at me, talking about, well, why are you not going to do one? And I didn't have an answer. So I decided to sit on it and not listen to God. And God spoke to other people around me where I had loved ones and family members say, hey, you need to come here. We have a space. We want you to use it this way. And the way they wanted me to use it was virtual. God didn't say virtual. God brought kids to me. He brought kids so fast I hadn't even went to the store for a snack.
I know. We saw. I said, didn't she just launch this like yesterday? And then like the next couple of days, I'm sitting here watching them get snacks and give them to kids. I was like, but that's how it is when you step off into your purpose, your true purpose. And that's what this coaching call hers, that's what it's about. It's about helping you to discover or rediscover your purpose. And so once you align yourself with your assignment and your purpose, you don't have to dig, you don't have to toil, you don't have to, it's already ready. The atmosphere was ripe and the soil was ready, everything was ready. Provision was like boom right there. And so you moved in time, and that's because you were listening to God when you moved. And we're gonna go off script just a little bit, y'all. This ain't scripted. I'm the one that with the questions. She don't have no questions over there. I have them. So I'm gonna go off
nervous.
Script.
I'm nervous.
She's nervous, as we say in Missouri. She's nervous skated. but right in this part, because then I'm gonna ask you what this next question. Exactly, David. This is what I want to ask you when it comes to this. Tell them how you even got into this program and how you even got hooked up. Yeah, because they have to see what the reason why I want you to tell this part is because we have so many people who are fearful of moving into what it is that God has called them to do. And this is definitely what God has called you to do. And for those who are watching, Hers Life Coaching is a Christian life coaching academy. God is our foundation. He's my CEO. And so some people get fearful and they won't move at all. But you was fearful and you yet moved. But tell them how you even approached me, y'all. Y'all not going to believe this. Tell them how you even approached me.
I had been watching, me and Miss Karen actually met through a ministry in St. Louis. And at the time that we met, I was not the same person I am now. I was way more ghetto, a lot more hood. And I automatically was like, why gotta bring this lady around me? Like, I didn't understand it. So every time she would come around or I would cross paths with her in some kind of way, she would always drop these golden nuggets that I hadn't got from anywhere else ever. And it made me keep looking for information from her. So I kind of like stalked her a little bit on Facebook, y'all. I watched all her videos, and every time it was like a gut punch. If I've ever shared one of her videos with you, or if you ever seen one of her videos, you know the feeling I'm talking about. It like takes your air and compresses it, because it's like God just slapping you in the back of the head. It's real disrespectful. So after watching her for a few years, in my heart, I kept hearing God tell me, you're gonna do this. And I was like, no, I'm not. I was working in a mental hospital, and he was like, you're gonna do this. And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm gonna keep going to this mental hospital. Where I got hurt twice at this mental hospital. And that second time I was like, you know what, maybe I don't need to go there. Okay, whatever. And she opened up her books for the coaching program. And at the time I was like, well, I should do it. And then the other side was like, you ain't got no money. You ain't got no money to do that. And then that voice came later. And that voice was like, if you don't do it, you'll never get the chance to do it. I will take that from you. And I got scared. So I was like, well, you know what? I'm gonna listen to this voice. This voice feels some kind of way. This voice is applying a different kind of pressure. And the way life is going, I've never tried it before. It just might work. So I contacted her, and she was like, she's a busy lady, but she was like, I'll be in drill in Dallas, and I could try to meet you there. Life happened. And when life happened, I wanted to give up so bad, y'all. And I mean bad. And I heard that voice again, and he was like, don't go. See what happened. Y'all, I did everything in my power. I got off work. I dropped them kids off. I was calling her. She wasn't answering. I was going to the last address she gave me. She was going to see me that day. I got there. She was with a group of other chaplains, and they were having dinner. And God forced me to sit by myself. I had to sit at that bar alone and wait just to talk to her, to prove to him I'm gonna do it. Like I'm not gonna leave. And everything happened. The meat went late, just whatever. And I didn't leave. And when I didn't leave, she ended up introducing me to the ladies, and she talked to me. And the moment she started talking, the answers that I was looking for, she wasn't giving them. She was just looking at me, and I'm looking at her, and she looking at me, and I'm waiting on her to say these words I need to hear. And she said, you just have to take the course. I felt offended. And I just told her before this live started, I understand why you just looked at me that night. And my y'all, I'm crying. I mean, boohoo snot crying.
She was boohoo. I mean, snotting all over the mashed
potatoes. Because I don't know why I have to talk to this lady. I don't understand what's going on right now. But I'm too scared not to do it because, hey,
right.
She was scared to do it,
but she was scared not to do it. And all I did was sit down at the table. I invited her over to the table. I sit down at the table, and she sat there, and she's shaking, and she just boo-hooing, crying all over the food and everything. And I'm just sitting there looking at her like this till she ready to speak, because I'm like, I'm not gonna say that. It's got to be your choice, and because I already knew, but God has to show people himself. So I don't try to push people into doing these types of things. I'm a pusher, but I'm not a pusher into things like this. It has to be God, and it has to be their decision. And she just was crying, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, okay. When she finished, because she was looking for like a reaction. I think she was looking for
clarification.
And if anybody met me, okay, anybody that's met me in person, they'll find this out. But it's a different type of thing. And what she was looking for me to say, well, Gracie, come on, and I understand if if you're not sure, and sometimes it's just not. And I just looked at her, and I was like, okay, whatever God told you to do, that's what you need to do. You just need to be obedient. I was like, that's all I can give you. That's all I got for you. I have this big old speech, and she just crying, and she was sitting there looking at me. She said, why is she doing this to me, God? Why are you letting this woman talk to me like this? She said, why are you letting this woman talk to me like this? I told her, I said, well, I don't know what you were looking for, but there you go.
Something. something. Coddle me some kind of way. My world is
For
crumbling.
coddling.
I don't. That's what I wanted. I didn't even know you like that, but that is what I wanted. Something. My mama used to say, "Baby, it'll be okay." I was looking for
Yeah.
that, and you
Mm-mm.
didn't give me it.
No, no, because it was time out for that. Because she's a runner, and I didn't know she was a runner until
Mm-hmm,
God put her in front of me, and I said, "Oh, she's a runner. I know how to deal with
mm-hmm.
run." And I was just like, "You have to do what God tell you to do. Be obedient. That's all I got for you." God, why are you gonna let this woman sit right here in front of me, in front of these people, and talk to me like this?
I never wanted to be obedient. What that mean? Shoot, I was hard
David is
headed.
telling on you. David telling on you. David said she was curled up in a ball under a blanket at work.
I did not want that. No, no. You know, some people say they want their talent. I did not want that. I was okay not talking to people. I was good. I like being a loner. This wasn't totally.
Oh no, you're not going to get that. Okay, yeah, we don't do the coddling when it's just time for you to step off into what it is God has called you to do. And I tell people, by the time you get to me and you cross my path, that means God is like, listen, I done had enough of your stuff. Now I'm gonna put you right here. He's like, I had enough of your shenanigans. Now let me just tell you straight out what it's gonna be. But it ended. It was great, and she's like, "I'm getting into class." At the end of it, and we took our selfie. She was like, "No, no, no, I got to get a selfie." She's like, I'm in there. I will be
Listen,
contacting you."
that selfie was difficult because I had to prove to myself I did it. Like I'm telling y'all, I was disobedient, and I was okay being disobedient.
It was too funny to me, and I was like, "Poor Gracie." I was saying inside, I was like, "Poor Gracie," but I was like, "But I can't say that, God. God won't let me say poor Gracie." But inside, I was like, "Oh God, you got her." Like, God, you got her. And so and she did. And she took the class and went through the class. And now that you're on the other side of all of this, what excites you the most about what you do now?
The same thing that I was scared of before, the uncertainty, but knowing that every step I take, God got me. That
Yeah,
that excites me. That makes me hold my head up high, no matter what I go through, because I know I'm good. As long as I do what He tell me to, I'm good. Just don't be disobedient. It's the
right.
easy game now.
Because now you're in the inner circle and everything. So he got his eye on you through me. So she's like, and he got eyes everywhere.
Woo, don't he?
But you're doing great. You're doing magnificent, and I'm loving what I'm seeing that you're putting out there. Um,
Thank you.
and now that you have proved to yourself, because you didn't do this to prove nothing to nobody else. She
Mm-mm.
literally to prove this to yourself. Now that you've done this, have you seen an increase or a decrease in your support in what you're doing?
Support goes down. Support goes down. The people that you know ain't got nothing for you. It's the people that don't even like you, and they gonna tell you they don't like you, and why they don't like you, and they gonna support you, and they gonna root for you, and they'll speak your name among thousands. But it's not gonna be the people that's closest to you. If
Right.
that's what you're looking for, don't do this because this ain't it. This
Yeah.
ain't it. They'll
And
call you when they need you.
and it's crazy because every coach had to experience that. And I experienced that, and I didn't understand why. And literally, and people don't understand this, literally, once you go through this particular program and God throws you on out there and say, go on along, do what you're supposed to do, you have people that dislike you for no reason. And they'll tell you. And I tell people, I've had people tell me later after, they've been obedient, do what they're supposed to do and do what they're doing. They would tell me, it's like, for a long time, I didn't like you. And I didn't know why I didn't like you.
Yeah.
It was just for no apparent reason. They just said it. And they came back and they wanted to apologize to me. And I was like, well, you don't have to apologize because I didn't know that you didn't like me, And but that is what that's what happens. Is they just don't like you for no a particular reason. But when they say that, to me, the reason is you remind them of what they shoulda, coulda, woulda, and didn't.
I always thought that for me, when I saw that side of people, they didn't like the God in me, even though I didn't see the God in me.
Yeah.
So they're
people can see your anointing. The anointing is there, and they see it, but it's not until you recognize it and you see it, and then you start moving in it. You know what I mean? And when you start moving with purpose, now you're not just out here moving willy-nilly. You're moving with purpose. You have purpose, and your purpose has been manifested in front of everybody. And it's like, this is my purpose. I got anchored in grace. I got this Geeks Elite. I don't got time for all the kooky crazy stuff. I'm on my assignment right here. And then they see how God is blessing it, and they see how God is building it up. And again, you have to pray for people like that, because it's not that they don't like you, it's that they don't like themselves and are mad that you're doing what they should have done and what they missed out on doing.
Yes.
So it's that. What are some of the challenges you face as a Black woman in business?
That's a difficult question. Being from St. Louis, Missouri, I can honestly say, being a Black woman, period, there have always been unnecessary challenges that helped shape who I am today. I did not understand those challenges at that time, but it led me to understand my purpose. So what I have learned from them, because I won't give them any credit for anything else, but what I have learned from them is to always stand tall and stand firm on my word, even when I'm unsure of it, not in a way of ignorance, but a way of your solidarity. So much has been hidden from us over generations. You can't be upset at yourself for not knowing the first time you see it, but you can definitely grow from it. And their way of movement to me is textbook. It's like a chapter by chapter, step by step. And once you've been through it, you can see it coming. You pray for them. You bless them and send them on their way. But I don't think they can stop you. It just may take longer for people to find out about you.
Right. I like that. I like that answer. Because the challenges, I always tell people, the challenges have always been there. And so just because the challenges are there, it should not stop you. And I always tell people, I was like, but the challenge has always been there. This is not new. The stereotype has always been there. The glass ceiling has always been there. And because most of us grew up in an era where it was very blatant. You know what I mean? And so we knew why we were being held back. We knew why we weren't being pushed forward. We knew why we weren't being elevated. But now, because so many of us have gone out and we've broken through some of those barriers, the ones that are coming behind us, this is why I try to tell people, light a fire. It's like, come on, while the trail is still hot, while they call me a trailblazer. I was like, well, y'all better come on while the trail is still hot, because it could go cold again. But I always like to ask this question, especially with the African American women on here, and it's not saying that other ethnic groups don't have the challenges, but we have to be honest, we have more challenges. So just being a woman by itself is a challenge. Then being a Black woman is another challenge. Then a Black woman in business is another challenge. But then you become a threat because you're beautiful, you're smart, and and you have a lot of tenacity, and you have a lot of resilience, and your bounce back and your comeback is strong. And so when they people see that, you become a threat. And it's not like we're out here to take over what you have. We're out here to take over what God has said we can take over, what He has given us dominion. Everybody has a piece of the kingdom that they have a dominion over, and we just want to be able to work our share without you trying to block and trying to hinder. Can I just have my square? Okay, let me work my square. And so that is something that a lot of people do struggle with, especially a lot of African American women. And because they see another woman struggle, they won't go forward and do anything because they don't want to experience the struggle. So that's why I do these interviews, because I want people to see what comes from the struggle.
It's a diamond in there somewhere. What I can say is also, I want to address that we don't value us in the way that we should, because we don't invest in ourselves. We know we should. We hear that voice, but we would invest in things that go on ourselves, but not in ourselves. Some of us are so used to that pain and that hurt. If they were to wake up without it, they would be terrified. I did. Going through therapy myself, the first time, I'm going to be honest, when they gave me happy pills and I woke up happy, I cried. And then I had to laugh at myself because I didn't understand why I've never felt this before. And I didn't understand why was I upset with myself for feeling it now. You feel guilty.
Yep.
Because when you look around, no one else is showing that amount of joy and that love and that lust for life that you have. It's easy for them to focus on the negative. They can't spin it into something positive, even on the worst day. I tell people all the time, if you with me and you don't laugh, something's wrong with me. Get me checked.
Exactly.
Because that's one thing I can control is my smiles, my cries, and my giggles. And I'm selective on who I give that to.
Right.
Life hard enough. I don't need to add nothing extra to this. I really don't. So I like to spread that love to other people and to get you to change your perspective about whatever it is you're going on, whatever you got going on, or whatever you're going through. I think that's why my coworkers on this live now, because they know I'm crazy.
David said the hardest part is giving him a discount on your services.
He don't get no discount. Petty Crocker does not get a discount on service.
A discount. But what you said is so true. And I posted something the other day that says happiness does not have an expiration date. Happiness doesn't expire. It doesn't expire. You can experience happiness anytime you want to, and that's it. But sometimes people get so used to moving and operating in dysfunction that they become dysfunctioning people, and what is abnormal becomes normal. And so they're okay with that. And so and a lot of people have lived in chaos for so long that they don't know how to move in peace. And when they see you move in peace, they look at you like that's abnormal. How are you, moving so peacefully? How are you able to focus, and how are you able to accomplish when all of this is going on? Because your mindset shifts.
Once you someone to tell me that
your mindset shifts. Your mindset.
I had someone tell me that. I recently we replaced the motors in our cars, and then the motors went out in the cars, and we were in a rental car, and everything was just going on. And every day I was just joyful, and I was blessed with a car. just the story behind that is a blessing all within itself. But when the lady seen the blessing, she said, I want to bless you. She bought my first tank of gas because she said, I saw you every day. She said, and you never didn't smile. She said, and I want what God got for me. So I want to bless you because I know I just seen him bless you. And like just the way that he blessed me, people just wanted to be around it because it was just one of those blessings you don't hear too many people talk like that. It just doesn't happen. It seems unreal.
Right. Right. And I always tell people you can always find a reason to be happy. You can always find a reason to be happy. You can always find a reason to be in peace. You can always find a reason to be joyful. You can always find a reason to be thankful. But what's so sad is it's too simple. It's too simple. It's like I can be happy if I want to. Yeah, just say, you know what, today I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna be happy, and start doing happy
Exactly.
things. Start doing things that make you happy. It's too simple. We have become so complex in our thinking that we think everything is complex, and it's not. It really is simple, and that's what the life coaching and stuff is about. Is to help people to get back to the simplicity of things, to unjumble all of the complex stuff and just get back to the simplicity of things. What is it that you are looking forward to in the next year? I mean, I don't know. What do we need to be watching for a left punch coming out of left field? Because I don't know if I need to ask you that question, because you'd be like, girl, I already got something. Boom. You know what I'm saying? So, but what is that you're looking forward to in this next year?
My goal has always been to bridge the gap between family, school, and community. So hopefully you'll see something coming that signifies that bridge coming together.
Did y'all just see her face? She said, hopefully you see something coming. Y'all see the lean in. I went to school to be a profiler. So I'm profiling right now. Y'all see the lean in? That means something is already in the works, y'all. So something is already in the works. So get ready. Now that you can tell us about, all right, outside of that, is there anything else that you're working on or you're getting ready to release that we need to get our hands on? Anything that we need to get our hands on?
I would just say stay tuned. I have a feeling it'll be a book coming, but what it's going to detail, I don't know yet. We still meditating on that one.
Okay, so we'll be looking for a book coming up in the new year.
Yes.
All right, so
Yes. Yes.
we have our pennies, nickels, and dimes.
Have your cho-chos. Have your cho-chos.
Ready to get your change, have your coins together so you can to do some of these things. Here's a question I'm going to ask, because I always ask everybody who comes on. What would you tell someone who wants to get into the life coaching field and they don't know how to do it, or they don't know if they should do it? What would you tell somebody?
I would definitely tell them to pray and meditate on it. Have a long conversation with yourself and with God. Because in order for this to happen, you have to go within yourself to every part of yourself, everything you have shut down, everything you twisted in your head to make you believe it happened the way that it did not happen. You have to acknowledge all parts of yourself. You have to count all joys to go on this journey. And if you're ready to do that, I say do it. Don't second guess it. Don't take as long as I did. But if you're not ready to do that, respect yourself and that decision, because it is a long walk in the dark.
Yeah.
It's a light at the end of the tunnel. But it gets dark, especially if you've been through some things. But that's what life coaching is. It's to
Yeah.
help you get through the dark. to reach that light at the end of the tunnel. It's solution based. So
That's it.
We'll listen to the issue, but then we're going to come up with the solution. And you're going to make the steps that you need to make to get to the end of the tunnel. Ain't no coddling in the tunnel. I'm telling you, I was looking for it. It wasn't there.
The coddling comes at the end once you graduate and walk across the stage. Then the coddling comes at the end, and you get 2 weeks of that, and then I'll be like, all right, y'all, it's time. Let's get to work. You get a 2-week break, and then I'll be like, now the work.
If you're on this call, trust me, I know you've been around someone that's anointed. That's her. You don't even have to ask her. She kind of already knows. She waiting on you to say it. and she cutthroat with it. She don't sugarcoat it at all. It could be 3 a.m. That shift. Ooh, that shift. If you don't know about that shift, go back and watch that video of her having us pray at night on shift, and you had to pray about people that was on your mind, whether you liked them or you didn't like them. And you had to pray about what they needed. You had to even pray for yourself. And everything I prayed about in that video, and everybody whose name I tagged in that video, life happened. And they pushing through it. And I know it got to do with that shift video. I know it has to do with that shift video.
And I tell everybody that
the other side, but they going through it. But I'm telling you, it's going,
y'all, and that shift video is there to encourage and motivate. And I tell people, it really isn't the video. It's the concept of all of us coming together and attaching our faith with somebody you don't even know that's on there, and you're attaching your faith with their faith. And we want to see God do it for everybody. And he has been. And so it's always about this shift. And people always talk about, well, God, I need you to shift, and God, I need you to shift. But they don't know what to do to shift. And I'm just like, well, y'all, let's pray and get on here, pray for somebody's business on here that you don't even know. You know what I mean? And when you feel like, okay, God is pushing me and I feel like it's time for another shift in my life, I tell people, go over to the video and just put your name over there, and I'm going to see it, and I'm going to attach my faith with your faith, and we want to see God move. Adasia said, at all, when she was talking about coddling. She said, at all. I'm going to get you, Adasia. You're close to me. All right. But it's about that. And that's what this is about. That's what I want people to understand when we do these types of interviews and I bring on, and because I believe in the caliber of people that God has sent through this life coaching, this on this platform, they will get first dibs, as I say. They get first dibs because they put in the work, they put in the time. You guys were obedient to God, and you were disciplined in your studies to get things done. So I make sure that they get first dibs. I always make sure that I put them first when it comes to this, because that's what this is all about. Because everybody does so much stuff, but this particular platform, I want to make sure that my ladies and gentlemen, because hers is not just for women. We got some men, hers coaches. Okay. And so, right, the blue side of the house, we got the blue side of the house. All right. And so I make sure that they have this launching pad for what it is that God has called them to do. And when they leave this course, they don't leave this course empty handed, because I had to figure it out. And once I figured it out, God was like, don't make them figure it out at the end. Once they're done the work, give them the tools they need so they can go. And that's what we do. We give them everything they need. So when they leave us, then they go to this next step, and then they just flourish. And so that's what it's about. And I'm not successful if they're not successful. That's it. My key is to make sure everybody is successful at the end of this journey. And so, and normally I will ask how people can get in contact with you, but everything is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. And so it's there. Everything, you can find her on Instagram. at Miss Gracie Anchored in Grace. You can follow her on Facebook on her Anchored in Grace life coaching page, or go over to the Greek Geeks Elite.
Geeks Elite. Yes.
Elite. You can find her over there as well, y'all. And I'm telling you, this has been such an amazing interview. And now you can just be like, you can breathe.
Yeah.
You can breathe. That bad, but we want to thank everybody. And I saw someone on here, and I don't know if they're still on here, but I think it was a relative of yours that was on here. And I did not want to overlook them when we came on, and they were watching you, and they said they were something. I don't know if they were your aunt or somebody.
Oh, that's Aunt Robin. Hey, Aunt Robin.
Okay. So your aunt was on here.
Yes.
So we want to acknowledge, and we wanted to acknowledge all of your friends, all of your family, colleagues, and everyone who took time out to watch this interview and make it great. We love the interaction. If you are interested in life coaching, just talk to Gracie, and she'll let you know how to go about doing it, how to get started. There she is, Robin Collins-Ware. There she is. Thank you, ma'am. And talk to her, and just be on the lookout. Before we let the people go, is there anything else you want to say to the people before we wrap it up?
Be better tomorrow than you were today. That's it.
Well, we want to thank you. We want to thank you, Gracie, for coming on in. I'm super duper proud of you. I want you to know that I'm proud. And so I always smile when I see you post something on Facebook, because my last memory of you was you sitting there crying over the mashed potatoes in Texas at at Saltgrass Restaurant. And so David said a 50% discount. And so I wanted to tell you that I'm so grateful for that. And I really want to shout out Coach Vicki Davis, because she is the president and founder of Healing Heart Angels Outreach. Me and Gracie are part of that. Because I am a Missouri native. I've just been planted out here in California, but we are part of that. And we just celebrated our anniversary. And so I wanted to shout Vicki out on that. And Vicki is the one who made it possible for Gracie and I to meet. And so we want to shout her out. And that's how this works, y'all. We have coaches everywhere else, and we all are part of one another's organizations. And that's what makes it go. That's what makes it grow as well. And we're showing the world that women, Black women at that, can work together. Okay. And I'm part of the Healing Hearts. Vicki is part of the Hers. You know what I'm saying? We're all intertwined there, and we wanted to show people that we can do this and it can be done, and we don't have to have that crab mentality that I got to pull you down in order to pull myself up. You don't have to do that. We can lock arms, and we both can pull each other up at the same time. You put your knee there, and I put your foot on. I put a knee, and I'll put my foot on, and we both lift each other up. And that's how we do it. And so thank you for taking time out of your schedule to be on with us. And yeah, I'm going to be looking to see what it is, because now you piqued my curiosity. I'm like, what's she over there working on? And I'll be like, well, these are the children God has given me for her. That's why, and y'all see why I have to keep doing stuff, because they keep doing stuff. So I have to keep doing stuff. But it's wonderful. And Apostle Chantel was on here with us as well. Thank you, ma'am. And happy birthday to her as well. So thank you to everybody who joined us on my side, on Gracie's side. Y'all listen. And if you know a life coach or are a life coach, and you was like, listen, I want to be on the coach to coach interview, hit me up. over at hersllc@yahoo.com, and get yourself on my schedule. Get yourself on my schedule. Let me know a little bit more about you, and we'll have you on here. All right. And you can be a life coach, you can be a consultant, you can be a counselor, you can be an entrepreneur, period. It's only called Coach to Coach because it's about coaching people to the next level. All right. It doesn't mean you have to be a coach, but it's about coaching you to the next level. Okay. So we thank y'all for joining us, and y'all listen, wait until next month. We'll be back again next month. We do this every month. So we back in rotation. So who knows who's going to be on here next month? Could be you. Okay. So we thank y'all, and we will talk to y'all later. Have a great night, everybody.